Hello everyone, and welcome to a first look at World of Warships Legends. Not Blitz this time, Legends. And this is Legends on mobile. Now, I do have to admit, I actually completely missed this because I was aware that this was going to launch. I actually made a video about that a long time ago. But I've been keeping an eye on the Play Store, and it looks like Legends has gone down the same route as has the... what's it called? The other one. The Gaijin thing. War Thunder, yes. War Thunder. You do actually have to download an APK on Android, at least from a website, and install it randomly. Now, I'm not a fan of this. And I'm going to quickly explain you why before we get into it. Because it incentivizes users who don't necessarily have the technical knowledge to disable the safety features of their phone and enable random installs from random websites, which is a massive security issue, potentially. And I don't know what's the motivation behind it, but given that War Thunder has been doing that as well, it may be a beta thing, but I would much prefer if this would actually show up in the Play Store. Plus, it would give us additional exposure. Maybe it's a limitation thing, but I have no idea. Anyway, it's there. You can install it via a website and download it by hand. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can download this. Just make sure you re-enable the safety features afterwards. It's like on Windows something, if you need to install a program and it asks you to disable your virus scanner. Sort of that thing, right? Anyway. Let's get into it. World of Warships Legends play. And I have played a couple of rounds. I've just wanted to get a bit of an overview, unlock most of the game features, and have an opportunity to actually tell you what's going on. This is relatively large. I think it's about 8-9 gigabytes all in all that you need to have free space. And I have heard that some phones might be struggling with it, but well, we'll get to that. So, first of all, let's have a quick look around, shall we? The menu is takes a little getting used to. I mean, Legends was built for console, and I think it shows in some regards, but we have the option to play, obviously, and we can play bot games, we can play just standard random battles, you can play ranked, you can play arena, apparently, 4 teams battles, sounds interesting, and some brawling special rule sets. Now, have a look at this play thing up here in the top left corner. There's a little new sign. That's been there for a while, and I just haven't been able to figure out where it goes. That's what I mean with the UX design. A lot of this feels like it's been made for console and for a limited sort of way of controlling things. And it's just it's just difficult sometimes to find what you want. But let's look at the ships. There's a surprising amount of ships in there. Well, surprising because I was looking at it from the perspective of a just came to a mobile game, but this is actually cross-play. So it makes sense to have the same set of features or also tech trees that the console actually has. And you can see I am going up the German cruiser tree, although I am thinking of my first goal here is to get into the German battleships. The whole tech tree only goes up to tier 8. So that's something getting a little bit, needing to get to use, English, Terry. This is something that needs you to get used to a little, because the tiers are different. So, for example, there's a Fletcher at tier 7, or a tier 7 Baltimore, things like that, a tier 5 Pensacola. But there's a surprising amount of ships in here from the actual tech tree, and its progression so far seems reasonable. I've made it to tier 3 reasonably quickly. Feels pretty on par with what I think would be Blitz. The game's giving you a premium account for 2 days when you start signing up. So progression is relatively quickly in the beginning. I do assume that it gets down more grindy in the end. But we do have a fair amount of lines. But again, all only up to tier 8 with different tiers. We've got the Italians, we've got the European, also Swedish destroyers, and we've even got the both of the Pan-Asian lines, which is quite nice. So you have a full you have a full selection of things that you can have. The game actually unlocks progressively, so I don't know if there's more to come, but if you're starting, you don't see most of this. You only see you can only play against bots for the first couple of rounds to get you used to certain things. There's a bit of tutorial. What's very much missing is a more descriptive tutorial. So for example, if I look at the Karlsruhe, so that's the Karlsruhe, the tier 3 German light cruiser. And if I'm going to look into the ship, what I'm missing here is more information about the ship. So at no point has the game even explained things like armor angles. I don't even know if they exist in the game. I assume they do, but it's just sort of thrown this at me without much explanation. There's no information whatsoever about the caliber of these guns or anything else. All you get is the reload and maximum damage. There's no information about the different kinds of penetrations that you can get. So relatively few bits of information here. And when it comes to upgrading the ships, if you're coming from Warships Blitz, as I assume most of you are going to, you'll find that it's relatively sparse. So you can actually start fitting modules in these ships. The very early tiers don't really fit an awful lot of modules, and these work slightly differently. But as you can see, they're also significantly expensive. I mean, I've been playing with premium probably, I don't know, I'd say like 12 rounds or so, and gone through a couple of early achievements that gave some whatever this is, silver. I'll call it silver, and a module would be a quite significant investment. So something to actually think around. So for example, right, I could fit the secondary battery mod onto the Karlsruhe. I don't even know if the Karlsruhe has a secondary battery. I would assume it does, but the game tells me absolutely nothing about it. So if I look at the Karlsruhe, I can sell boat, yes, but I don't really know anything about the details about the ship. Now maybe this is just hidden somewhere and I haven't found it, or everybody's expected to either know this or figure it out from the wiki, but it's a bit of a rough edge there in my opinion. Anyway, we're getting into too many details, so let's have an overview first, because before we get further into the ships. Now at the very top, we've got the obvious premium currency, which is doubloons, I believe. So we'll call it gold. We've got silver, which is the normal currency here. This one, credits. So we've got doubloons and credits. So doubloons is gold and credits is silver. We've got global XP, which is free XP, and we've got 24 hours of premium time, and I have 7 containers by the looks of it. Yes, so containers come in a container ship, and I can actually open these. I haven't opened any yet because I wanted to hold that back, and I am now level 10 by the looks of it, but I might have to get out from here before I can actually click on this. No, I can't. You see, this is another thing. So if you want to see your statistics, you'd think, oh, I'll tap on my name, but nothing happens. But you actually have to go down on the bottom left where there's the little summary screen thing, and that actually shows you what's going on. So like these sort of UX features I feel like are coming from console. They do take a little moment to get used to, but once you figured it out, it's relatively straightforward. You've got settings. There is not an awful lot you can configure here. So I couldn't configure graphics quality or refresh rate, or I couldn't switch off the music. I don't know if there is any. I haven't really listened to it, but I could change my nickname, okay, but that's it by the looks of it. So there's very little in terms of configurability here. But other than that, yeah, you've got your regular things, and obviously you have the shop. And oh boy, is there a shop! There is a lot of stuff. So you can buy, obviously, premium ships, as you can see, there's a bunch of them, and you can purchase bundles and all kinds of things. You can obviously purchase gold, which seems to be reasonably expensive, but I would have to double check the I would have to double check the actual exchange rate in order to determine if this is the same economy as in Blitz. But you can. You can purchase all kinds of stuff. There's a birthday event going on, and there's obviously something for the weebs, and a lot of things. You see this? There's like it's not loading from the server, right? You see, oh, there it comes. It takes a while for the backgrounds to load. So these seem to be server side, and that can sometimes take a little bit of time to get there. There's another. This is like keys, the number 4 there. This is like a birthday currency. So very, very similar setup as you'd be used to. You can also purchase commanders. Commanders seem to be working a little differently here, but we'll get to that in a sec. You can purchase commanders for free XP, but they are seriously expensive. So if you look at the amount of free XP I have here, that's not an awful lot. Although this might not be the same. Oh no, it's Commander XP, sorry. So it's not free XP, it's Commander XP. So it might be going a little bit quicker, but still, you've got a fair ways to go to get there. You can purchase crates, obviously, which contain stuff. We've got the Forge, which is like the shipyard, where you can purchase things for steel. And you've got the regular premium shop, where you can purchase all kinds. And there is a lot of premiums. So you've got the premium lines here pretty much laid out. So a lot more things on offer. And again, it seems like all the images need to load from server. A lot of things to offer. A lot of them actually for free XP, but for a relatively large amount of free XP. But I would assume that if you play a lot, that you could eventually get to these free XP numbers. So, and then here you can purchase various things for gold, or doubloons rather. So lots of stores going on. You do have a campaign, which I believe isn't quite. I think campaign is just the Blitz Pass. So you've got various, and it's a maze really. You've got various things that you can get through, and then depending on if you've got the premium Blitz Pass or just the free Blitz Pass, you get various items from crates to special currencies to camos. Camos don't appear to be permanent, so this is a lot more like PC in this regard. You've got your missions, and you've got trials, which is kind of like the commander missions that you'd have in Blitz. So very, very similar in many regards. And you've got the Research Bureau, which is a whole nother thing where you can unlock things like the Yamato, because the Yamato isn't actually in a tech tree. You have to go through, you've got to go through the various items here, and then these ones have time-limited projects in them that means you need to do a certain amount of research points, and you get research points, I believe, just for free, plus by completing tasks. So a lot of it is more into the, how do I put this, like complete tasks to unlock things. And I don't know if that's a console thing. It might be, because it feels like something you'd see on like Fortnite or something similar, where you have you've got sort of the base game, but then you've got a lot of these grindy mission type things that you need to do in order to unlock more stuff. Or you can just take it easy and do your thing. But I haven't gotten a full overview of that yet. Seems to be much more of a focus than the actual ships, because like I said, the ships themselves are relatively bare bones. You can unlock upgrades. So this is very different from Blitz, but probably somewhat similar in PC as it is to PC, because you can you need to unlock these and research these, but you can do things like change certain aspects of the ship, and each of these plus icons here up top unlocks a different one, which are not always just beneficial, but they are trade-offs. So they're not like the modules that you can install there, but they're sort of upgrades but trade-offs. And then obviously you need to make your way through the tech tree. So if I want to get to the Kaiser, which is what I'm trying to do next, which is the tier 3 German battleship, and yes, it needs to be loaded from the server every time by the looks of it, then I'm not yet there. I need to finish the research on the Karlsruhe, and then again you've got the same things that you can go through and unlock things. All right. Last thing I probably want to look at before we before we go into a round is the commanders. So at some point I did just get a commander. And I don't know what I need to do to unlock the next one, because he's kind of locked. But it might just be a leveling up thing. So I did get a commander, Reinhard Scheer. He is a generalist commander. And you can use the commander XP to unlock commander skills. So like right now there's a rank upgrade available. I don't know what... I could rank him up, but a couple of things here seem to be not yet... not yet complete. And there's things like inspirations. There's actually some historical information, which is quite nice. And then it doesn't go back to the previous screen. And then you have the commander skills, which is a bit, which occasionally sound a bit. And again, this feels like it comes from the console market. They sound a bit. My son would say cringe, like the. Improved, so basically the opposite of an IFHE, so like a bigger bursting charge, is called Burn It Down XXL. You know, no fly zone. Okay, I can work with that. Before it's too late, increased torpedo acquisition range. You know, you get my drift here. This is a little grating, but you seem to be able to unlock commander skills relatively quickly. Now I have no idea what would happen here. So I could use my commander XP to rank him up to rank 6, and I would probably get another skill slot that I can use somewhere. But there's also base traits, and I don't know if there's this mastery. I have no idea where this comes from again. Is this just the commander level? Maybe. And maybe when that's full, then he unlocks. Anyway, it works a little different. You appear to be using Commander XP for quite a lot more than these rather arcane usages that you have in Blitz. So, no blueprints. Yay, no blueprint grind. A lot of, not as many modules and consumables. The ships, as you may have noticed, have no heal. So if I look at the loadout, all you get is damage control, and that just does, you know, what you're aware of. It puts out fires, closes floods, and repairs modules if necessary. But they're free basically. You just have a 60-second cooldown on them, and then you've got some basic information. You got the booster system, which is probably similar to you can ship XP, credit boosters, and apparently you can fly boosters that improve ship's movement. You have camouflages, which appear to be which have very, very different. This is a little different. So you get these. They're consumables. You get charges of them, and I think this is the thing that PC has as well, where you don't necessarily have a single camouflage that you stick on. I don't know if there are permanent camos here, but there are lots of them that I haven't even unlocked yet, and I don't know if this is per ship or any different. But anyway, lots of options that you have to improve the grind or just improve the seaworthiness of your ship. Now, I've been playing the Karlsruhe. And this was just a stock standard Karlsruhe without upgrades. I just wanted to see how this goes. There's a surprisingly large amount of players in around like tier 3 or so. There's no servers as far as I can discern so far. At least it has never asked me. So I'm somewhat assuming I may be on the Asian server, or maybe there is just one server and everybody in the world uses it, but I have no idea. Anyway, I decided to play a game, and let's take a quick look inside and see what that looks like on a mobile phone. And as you can see here, we are in a full-on player versus player battle, and at tier 3. We're top tier, but it's a 9v9. We've got a bunch of destroyers, a couple of cruisers, and actually a carrier and 2 battleships on each team. So I'm going into this relatively blind, just using my general knowledge. The first thing that I noticed is that you actually need to hover over somebody to figure out who they are and what ship they are sailing, which, again, I am very much missing configuration options that would allow me to see these sort of things. The controls are take a little getting used to, especially that little magnifying glass there at the bottom left, which puts you in a mode where you see more but can't steer your ship. I don't know why that's existing or what that would be for. But I have the armor piercing preloaded, and I'm just applying some assumptions here about how things work. And yes, no heals. You only have a Damacon, because it's tier 3, I assume, or because it's not a battleship. So I'll probably park myself at the edge there and wait for the destroyer to go scouting. I don't want to rush ahead, and I'm assuming that there's a lot of traffic coming in through the center here. Because it's base capture, and from here I should have a relatively good firing angle at whatever comes in through the middle. Plus I can divert to the left if I need to, and let that destroyer go and scout and see what he can find. There is an enemy Clemson. Okay, first customer. He might be coming our way, and I am spotted. I'm not sure if that's the Clemson. It probably isn't, because I should be behind the island still. So there's probably something coming in from my front. So I'm definitely not going to turn the ship to the side. But I'm just gently navigating forward and trying to get some shots on target on that Clemson. Hello, Mr. Clemson. And I completely forgot that I had the armor piercing loaded at this point, and probably should have reloaded the high explosive, but I'm not sure. We'll observe what the shells are looking like if I can manage to hit that thing. So more lead, definitely more lead. I did get a shell on target, but I didn't see how much damage it was doing. 370. Yeah, that sounds like over penetrations. So it appears that I do have to use, and yeah, there come the inevitable Clemson torpedoes. Saw these coming a mile away, so I'm just going to duck back behind that little island ledge there, and that should defeat the torpedoes. There's a Duguay Trouin. Now against that thing, armor piercing should be decent, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. Hard to tell. There are different. The numbers on impact seem very random. Oh, we've scored a Citadel for 4,000. Nice. We hit him in the engine room by the looks of it. So I don't know if these are semi-pens or over-pens, but I seem to be getting, depending also on where I'm hitting. So the damage model might be relatively elaborate. And oh dear, we've lost our destroyer. But so there's a bunch of things coming on the left flank. But the Duguay Trouin has just managed to run into an island. That's something I noticed as well. There is a lot of islands here, and ships don't quite maneuver as quickly as I'm used to from Warships Blitz. Plus, if you run aground, you kind of have to back out of it, and that takes a while to get there. So I have switched to high explosive in anticipation of another destroyer coming in from my left here, and I'm just holding this flank by now. We've lost the battleship by now. I'm not sure how, but the Duguay Trouin is now smoking up, and there comes the enemy Karlsruhe up. I burned him down. Okay, because his Damacon was probably on cooldown from that engine damage I've caused. Okay, he's out of torpedo range, that Karlsruhe over there. So, yeah, he's probably not going to come through here. So, we'll go back to guns, and I am again undetected, so he doesn't know I'm coming. He only sees that battleship over there, so surprise! Full broadside Karlsruhe, armor piercing out, and that looked like an over penetration and a semi-pen. I don't know for sure, because the aim is very finicky. So you do really need to be precise with lining shots up at waterline, otherwise you're just straddling like that. Oh, destroyer! There's a Clemson. Okay, again I should probably be switching to high explosive here, and I do. Go me, because otherwise I'll just be over penetrating that thing. Now I am on fire. I don't have any heals, so I do need to rethink my damage control usage. There come the inevitable Clemson torpedoes. Yep, I see these coming a mile away. And there's also a Campbelltown. So let's do some torpedo beats here and try to dodge those. Yep, that worked. And let's help defending the battleship against these destroyers. I believe the Courbet. We've shot his rudder off. So if you compare that to something like War Thunder, you're getting somewhat similar mechanics in a way here, that you have different modules again and stuff you can. Yes, I see you there in front of me, Mr. Cruiser. That's why I'm already turning. I just want to get my guns on target against the Campbelltown and help the battleship. And yeah, that was way too far. Yes, I see you. I'll be right. I'll be with you momentarily. Oh, it's another Karlsruhe. So he's probably going to try to get torpedoes away. So let's just torp him. And that should be the end of him. And then we'll, I don't know, put the ship in reverse and turn in to avoid the torpedoes, I'd say. Switch to armor piercing and see if we can make something happen with the guns here. Yeah, he's dead. So there are going to be torpedoes in the water, but I'm already turned in to make that happen. And it looks like we have defeated the destroyers on the other side. So now I just need to get past that torpedo. That's no problem at all. Torpedoes, by the way, you have to be real careful here, because these things do a lot of damage. It's not like in Warships Blitz. So at this point it's 5 against 2. Because it's just the carrier and one of the destroyers left. The battleship on the left has survived. Probably because we've managed to help getting these destroyers relatively low. We've dealt with an enemy Karlsruhe. And now we can make our way into the enemy capture circle and see if we can farm a little bit of damage. So all in all, I have to say, what do I like about this game so far? I am enjoying the battles. I'm thoroughly enjoying the sort of... You don't have the same maneuverability just now as you have in... it doesn't feel like you've got the same maneuverability that you have in Blitz. And obviously the choice of ammunition and where on the enemy ship you're actually aiming at is mattering. So I am very much still at the... I'm just happy if I'm hitting anything at this point. But using armor piercing, as you've seen against the Duguay-Trouin, against light cruisers that are broadsiding is something that you can do. And there's a lot of things to learn. I like the progression so far. And just, you know, you're getting started relatively quickly. I think the bots, by the way, you haven't seen that because we didn't have any, but the bots aren't actually stupid. The bot destroyers are smoking up. They are dropping torpedoes on you. Bots can actually be relatively dangerous, and I'm about to beach myself here because I haven't been paying attention because I was focusing on the carrier. The things that I'm missing are definitely there's a lot of grind mechanics, a lot of different grind mechanics that I'll have to figure out. But the things that I'm missing is a bit more on the how does stuff work. Maybe PC doesn't do that either. Maybe, you know, you're just supposed to be watching videos, like introductory videos or something about this sort of thing. But even just ship information, right? What kind of guns am I sailing here? What kind of torpedoes am I having? You know, these sort of things would be kind of nice to have. But in general, this is actually fun and engaging. You do have to pay attention even at lower tiers because it is a relatively large team, and you do tend to run into things. And the graphics look okay. Again, I am sort of missing the configuration options. I don't know if I can actually get better graphics or something, but let's see if we can catch that. Nah, the Phoenix got the Valkyrie. So let's get back to the carrier. So far, this is relatively fun. Oh, that was the carrier dive bombing me here. Yep, that hurt. It is relatively fun actually, in a not as arcadey, but also more arcadey than PC, mainly from the amount of options that you have. But yeah, so there we go. That was a victory, 32,000 points of damage, and actually came second in the team with my completely unupgraded Karlsruhe, by the way, just after the Corbeil, which I think got the carrier in the end. So well done at that Corbeil. So am I going to feature Warships Legends on the channel? Well, what I'm actually thinking of doing is putting a poll out, because so one thing that you're going to have to be aware of is that I'm not a community contributor. I don't have everything unlocked. I'm not going to be able to do, you know, ship reviews or premium ship reviews or you know, purchase guidelines or anything out of the box, because I just also don't have the experience, and I'm not having years of grind and experience in this game. So very much going to be a different style, but I would like to have another mobile history themed multiplayer game on the channel, just a very, very different style, because it's going to be more laid back, just more like rounds, my personal experience, me grinding up some things rather than the sort of review slash guides slash how to explain videos that I do for World of Warships Blitz. So I'll put a poll up and see what you like. If this is something that that you would want to see, and yeah, there we are. So that was my very first glimpse at World of Warships Legends. And again, I'll leave the link in the description if you want to download it from there. Just please make sure to re-enable your App Store settings afterwards to make sure that you're not just randomly downloading stuff from the internet and installing it, because that can be quite dangerous. And the App Store itself is already Wild West, so there you go, at least on Android. Anyway, that's it for me today. Thanks, everybody, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.